Guys, welcome back to RBR, and it's true, I have sold everything. My entire car collection is gone. I'm switching things up. Even the two cars behind me are being replaced, and I'm going to give you a sneak at the two cars replacing those in this video. But yeah, I think I have some explaining to do. So yeah, the BMW M2 is gone. The Spyder RS has been sold. The GT Black series is gone, and even the C63 Black series is currently up for sale. So as you can imagine, I've been absolutely bombarded by DMs asking, why Raz? What is wrong with you? Blink twice if everything is okay. So I decided let's do something that we've never done on RBR, a first for the channel, and that is a garage update. So today I'm going to answer the questions why I have sold these cars and a sneak peek to my return to AMG form with two beasts coming in that I'll share with you at the end of this video. So my friends, to begin, I sold the BMW M2. I had it for over a year, and it culminated in that sum up video, that 1 year later video, 12,000 miles in BMW's M2. Really so superior to the previous one as a daily. I loved it. But it was losing too much money. New cars are just so overpriced, and I could see it happening on the M2, so I decided I had to exit. And despite all the M performance parts that I had on the car, I still lost so much money on the sale of that car. And I lost so much in the end that I ended up having to cancel my order for the M5 Saloon that I had with Tony TRL, and he's such a star. He took it like a champ. He didn't say anything to me, but I couldn't afford another, kick in the nuts buying a new BMW M car again, because I had the same with the M3 Touring. And I think in the future I'm going to look at the used market first on these newer cars, and I think that's something you guys should do as well. When they've taken that initial hit, it's just much better. And then don't go for the top spec versions like I did. It's not good. Go for the base version. The other thing I learnt while having the M3 Touring and the M2 is that I really missed my Taycans. I didn't miss the massive depreciation, but the great thing about those was how cheap it was to get loads of range by charging at home. So what I did was, I went for the halfway house. I got the GLC 300 DE plug-in hybrid, and if you haven't seen my video on that, I found this to be pretty much the best Mercedes-Benz that I've ever owned as a standard luxury car. And I think it's vastly superior to having either an EV or an ICE car as your daily. If you haven't seen that yet, do check out that video. But there was a happy ending at the end of this, because I think a plug-in hybrid is the way to go for a daily. And in fact, one of the cars that's coming now, the new ones, is also a plug-in. Then the next car, one that I thought I would really keep much longer, and that was the Spyder RS. As you guys know, it was my first Porsche GT car from new, one that I built a relationship with Reading in order to get anywhere near. And the first thing that threatened its place in the driveway was the coming of the GT3 Touring, which was a complete impulse purchase, as you know. Having had both of them side by side, it ended up feeling like a bit of duplication, because the GT3 has the same engine, but it's got a much more mature chassis, one that's better suited for daily activities. It was just feeling like a really expensive bit of duplication on my part, having two quite similar cars. But that wasn't the nail in the coffin for the Spyder RS. For me, it was how Porsche last year started throwing out allocations for this car, the 4RS and the 3RS, like they were going out of fashion. I know so many people who I speak to online, even close friends, who've never owned one singular brand new Porsche, who were offered allocations on these cars, even PTS, right? And I think the reason that this was happening, when the Taycan market crashed and Porsche needed to boost their bottom line, they decided, well, we need to sell more of our cars which have the highest margin. And I get the business side of that, but the issue here is, for the customers who are sold that old story of build the relationship with your dealer over time, buy the less rare cars, sell all the cars back to the dealer for less money than you would have made anywhere else. But don't worry, we will take care of you later when we give you a car that's much rarer. And things will even out for you financially, unless we're struggling financially ourselves, in which case you're on your own. As it stands, due to what I see as overproduction, the values of all of those cars are in some cases well under list, and you have brand new ones sitting at dealers that they're trying to push on to people, which is such a shame. And I didn't want to exit from that car, and I lost a lot of money exiting out of it. And I think I'm going to be a little bit more cautious going into the whole Porsche dealer thing. It's not the fault of the UK dealers. This is obviously a Porsche AG thing, and they will sell whatever they get allocated. I absolutely understand that. And the other thing is, I don't see this as the last ever ICE Boxster or Cayman type car. I know they're doing the electric one, but mark my words, they will do an ICE one, in my opinion, anyway. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to be a little bit more pessimistic about this whole client-dealer relationship going in the future, because I don't like losing money on cars for no reason. And it's hard enough to afford them to begin with for most of us. Now, you guys being in the know would have heard about this whole thing to do with car finance agreements between 2007 and 2021, 40% of them being missold. And we have the Supreme Court hearing recently that said that discretionary commission arrangements where dealers would modify and bring up the interest in your agreement for their own benefit were actually not fair for the consumer at all. And it's basically resulting in something like an 18 billion payout. But at the end of it, what it all means is essentially some of us could be owed up to like £950 per agreement. Now, since that ruling, a lot of people have said, well, just hold fire and see what happens. Yes, you could complain directly to your lender, right? Or you could go to the financial ombudsman. What if you can't remember any of your addresses or the regs, or you don't have any of the finance agreements? Or someone in my position where over the last, it's almost 2 decades this is going on. I've changed addresses multiple times, changed phone number, changed emails, had tons of cars, some in businesses, etc. How is that going to work? Luckily, Reclaim 24/7 are here to make that process easier. You can use their free tool online to put in your name, your different addresses as well, which I did check before doing this, and then it will search up everything that's linked to you. And if there's a claim to be made, they have a panel of solicitors already who will do everything for no upfront costs, all no win, no fee. Hopefully get a load of money back that we can then throw back into our next four-wheel obsession, like I've done on the 2 cars that I'm going to show you today. So guys, check out Reclaim 24/7 and hopefully we can make our pound go a little bit further. Then one that is super close to my heart, which was maybe the toughest decision, and that was the GT Black Series. I had 3 amazing years with this car, and you know, particularly as Mr. AMG, there's not just your own love of the car, there's also this thing in your head, I'm being totally open with you guys, of keeping up appearances that, damn, I need to own this car being this guy. But I made a decision for myself that I've had the time with it. It was 3 great years, a great privilege to own one of, well, the best track car that AMG have ever made, the fastest track car in the world at that time. And while it's probably not my favorite GT, I think that's still with the AMG GTR, it was just such a privilege to own this. But I also knew in the back of my head that it wouldn't be the last Black Series. I just don't think it will be. And AMG have semi kind of alluded to this now in the last few weeks with the unveil of this concept GT track sport, which is giving all the signals of being the next Black Series whenever it hits the road. We've got that swan neck rear wing, we've got the GT3-like front end, we've got a body that is clearly based on the old GT or the current GT3 race car rather than the brand new 4-seat GT. It's my assumption that this concept will lead to an actual road car that I think will eventually lead to a GT Black Series. We know AMG have made that new flat plane crank V8 that's going to last many, many years into the future. So I'm feeling a bit better about this, and you guys can rest assured that that Black Series is not going to be the last crazy GT or Black Series that you'll see me get my hands on. And then perhaps a decision that's even more controversial than the GT Black, and that's my C63 Black Series, a car I said I'd always keep. But not to get too deep and philosophical with you guys, I've learned in the last few years, and I've changed, that I don't want to hoard anything. I don't see anything as permanent or a forever keeper. We're not here forever on earth ourselves, and everything is down to him. So I don't want it to restrict me from experiencing new things. And I've had almost a decade of enjoyment with this car. So many miles, so many smiles, enjoying that wonderful 6.2 litre V8, that look that I curated exactly to be the way I wanted it to be, like the original press car, the custom interior, etc. It's been a great, great time. But now I want to move on. I've done that great tick box and I want to experience new things. The new CLE V8 we know is coming soon. And the way that AMG are acting at the moment, I feel like they will do another special version of a car like this in the future. At least I hope they will. So yes, it is for sale at the moment. I'll leave a link down below for anyone who's genuinely interested. It's with Mercedes Slough. And it was a privilege to own it, and I'm just so glad that I had the opportunity to do that. So guys, let's talk about what my current lineup is. It's a 2-car solution, and it's a formula that I think is, for me, been unbeatable. First, we've got my GLC plug-in hybrid. I think having a great plug-in hybrid as your daily is really the best thing to do, and I've done a whole video on it, why I think it is. It's got a huge battery, 30 kilowatt, that gives you 71 plus miles. I've done 12,000 miles of it, 80% of which were just on the battery, and that was so much cheaper than either a pure ICE car or, you know, being restricted in a pure EV in terms of range. It's been a real game changer for me. So I love that. Do check that video out. And then the side to scratch the performance itch. How can you beat the GT3 Touring? And mine has been amazing. In this PTS Porsche Racing Green color, we've got the heritage interior, and it's only been made better by adding in the rear bench thanks to Einstein at GT3 belts. Using it all the time then with the kids and doing the chores, etc. It's just been an absolutely unbelievable car. And I recently did a video calling this the perfect sports car. So why then sell it? And that's why this one is probably the saddest of the bunch, because the others, I came to the decision of selling them by myself. This one, I've kind of been forced into. And I want to explain to you guys what happened so you don't fall in the same trap. So those of you who saw the collection video will remember that this was an impulse purchase. I found it, I quickly gave the deposit. There was loads of other people who wanted to buy it. I was getting hassled by the dealership. I was in turn hassling my finance guy, and we eventually got the deal done very quickly, like in the matter of 48 hours. What I didn't realize until a good few months later, in fact recently, was that the finance agreement that I took out wasn't structured very well at all. It was essentially structured in a way that I was just paying interest and not a lot of capital every month, meaning that even after 4 or 5 years, I would have basically paid off nothing and would have lost a ton of money. So I begrudgingly came to the decision that I do need to sell it. Luckily, the car that's replacing it, I had ordered well in advance anyway, so I wasn't going to be left without a really cool car, and I can't wait to show you that. And Porsche High Wycombe have also said that they will get me another one when I do want it, so that's good as well. It's by no means the end of the story for me and the GT3 Touring, because I do think it is the perfect sports car. And I also think that this combination of a great plug-in and a great sports car has been amazing. One of almost like fire and ice, and I think it's the correct formula for a two-car solution. But this is a formula that I now intend to upgrade. How? First, with the GLC, we're going to upgrade to a proper performance plug-in hybrid. And I think you're absolutely going to love what I'm going to do with that one. And the second one is a bit of a return to form for me as Mr. AMG. Not necessarily better than the Touring, but something a bit more emotional, a bit more from home. Let's first check out the plug-in, which I think you're absolutely going to love. And here you go, guys, a preview of the first car coming into the collection. It is indeed the E53 plug-in hybrid that I have gone for in saloon form, and it is the complete base version with not a single option on it that you get in the UK. So the reason that I'm showing you this, and normally I do a big unveil on the spec, is this is not what the final car that I'm going to collect is going to look like. So I thought, let me show it to you guys as it is raw, and it is completely raw at the moment. Look, you can see it's even got rain marks. They've not done a single bit of work on this. We've still got the protection stickers and the foam on the side here. You look at the interior, and it is completely wrapped up. So I thought it'd be nice for you guys to see this kind of raw look of the car before you see the final thing. And in the end, did go for the saloon. We'll talk more about that when I do the collection. Now, this is the base car. So it comes with the 20-inch multi-spokes. They're just like the new G63 actually, in terms of their design. So I was quite happy to have those. The 21s are obviously gorgeous, but we're going to do something to these and to the calipers to make that all a little bit more exciting. Now, the other cool thing about the base spec car is that it comes with the chrome package. And the nice thing about chrome package on our E53 in particular, it really highlights lots of parts of the bodywork, and I think helps everything stand out a little bit more, give it a bit more aggression and width. And that's especially true of the trims and things like the exhausts at the back, which are then looking so much bigger and more exciting than if you had the black dark chrome ones on the rear. So another benefit of that. And of course, this is a plug-in, which you guys know I love. I love that element of a daily car. Jumping in for a sec. Let's get the system started here. And look at this, all of this wrapped up. The Asian in me doesn't want to take off any of the plastic or any of the packaging. You know what that's like. You go into a lot of brown or black people's houses, we still have the plastic on our sofas. But no, I wouldn't do that on this car. This has got a lovely black, it's basically a black and white. They call it never grey, but you would never mistake it for grey. See what I did there? Okay, dad jokes aside, it's a beautiful interior, and I needed, one thing I absolutely needed was a two-tone interior, so it would bring in some of that contrast, so you could see some of the nice things like the AMG lettering behind there, etc. And the other great thing is I did not want the super screen. And I said that in the main review of this car. I wasn't blowing smoke up your backside. I really do believe that this smaller screen looks better. You get the wood element, you get the lighted, and that is lighted, AMG logo within there. And I think it just looks like a more traditional, more harmonious AMG interior. So very happy with that element. It's the first time I've ever started the car. So excited about this, seriously guys. I cannot wait for you guys to see what the final thing is going to look like. So guys, that's a quick sneak preview of the E53 before it goes on this transformation journey that's going to involve quite a bit of things on the outside, especially the outside, which is why I've gone for the black color as a base. And on the inside, there's going to be a few things as well. And this is not just for myself, but to tell you guys how you can get a base car and make it look really special as an AMG daily. Now, normally this is where I would sign off, but in almost Apple-like style, there's one more thing. I'm going to give you guys a preview, and it's something even more special than this. You're only going to get a tease. Let me show you right now. And here we are, guys, at our final destination of the garage update, and one last car to show you, back at Mercedes-Benz Northampton. Why do I say back? Because I've collected so many awesome cars here. The GT Black series, the Mercedes SL, the two final editions in the E63S, the C63S, and a plethora of G-Wagons as well. Yes, my children have survived on biscuits because I spend all of my income on nice AMGs, but that's why I'm Mr. AMG, right? But the car inside is my first ever paint to sample AMG, and it's the first version of this car in the world to get that paint to sample. I'm so excited to give you a bit of a sneak preview. I'm not going to show you the color. I'll show you a few other things, and then in the collection video, which is coming very soon, you'll see all of that. So let's head inside for that one last thing. Okay guys, Northampton, Handover Bay behind here. The signs are good, AMG signs. Come this way. And there she is. That silhouette should really give it away, obviously. Obviously, it's obvious what it is. It is an AMG GT. This is the GT55. The GT55 is a pure V8 AMG GT, and it's technically identical to the 63, other than being a little bit less power and a lot less on the cost price, which is why I've been championing this car as the one that you guys should buy. Now, the original plan with this car was, and I'd spoken to German press about this, we were going to follow it through the factory at Bremen to show you guys the production process, because like I said, this is the first AMG GT to have a paint to sample color, or what AMG and Mercedes call manufacture. So we're going to document that whole process just like we did with the GTR Pro at factory, but somehow this car has snuck past everybody. That's how fast it is, and has arrived here literally 4 months early. We thought it was going to be November, and I'm sitting here right now on the 27th of July filming this right now. So I'm very happy it's here. I'm just sad I couldn't show you guys that whole process. Hopefully we'll do it in the next GT, because we know they're doing more special GTs as well. And while I don't want to ruin the surprise of the color for you, but I will show you a few little things of the spec. I've worked very hard with MB UK and AMG to release a few more options to AMG GT customers in the UK, because it's just been too restrictive in terms of interiors or wheels and other things, all linked to packages. And that stops, I think, people like you and me from buying. But I'm happy to say I've got a load of options released specifically for the GT. And I want to show you some of those under here. Right, here's a little bit of unveil without showing you guys the color. I don't want to show you the color, right? There you go. Now this is a Premium Plus GT55. Normally the wheels and stuff would be locked to a package. That is no longer the case. So you can get these lovely tech gold multi-spoke forged wheels, the best ones that they do for the GT, now pretty much in any one you want, which is great. So you can get this, you can get the black version of these, and they are no longer locked to a package. How awesome is that? You're welcome, it's my pleasure to do that. And the other option that I've got unlocked that you can see within here is the black calipers, because surprisingly, yellow doesn't go with every color. So I really worked hard, and a huge thanks to MB UK for getting that done. So now you can choose the black caliper option with the steel brakes or with the carbon ceramics, and you can get a great choice of wheels. So do play around with the configurator. And of course, the other thing you'll see on the configurator are the manufacturer colors. Have a play around with those. I gave you a sneak preview of some in my last GT video, and there was a ton that you could choose from. Some amazing shades in there, some from the past and some which are all new. And I'll give you a hint on mine. Mine is an all new color that even the boys at AMG haven't seen, at least not on a live car. I spoke to the manufacturer guys, and very kindly at AMG, they were taking care of my particular order. Maybe that's why it came through faster, I don't know. But yeah, I'm super excited to see it. I don't want to see it today. I don't want to ruin that surprise. So we will experience that together. This is just a really nice little preview for you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that garage update and a little sneak preview of my upcoming 2 AMG beasts. Stay tuned because the E53 collection is going to be soon, as is this. So if you enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe to RBR. I can't wait. These cars are going to be amazing. See you guys.